All right, so we're bracing for another little cold snap. That's
Grab
coming.
your little snuggle bunny.
Let's see. Clouds move in for a chance of showers Thursday and Friday, rain for the weekend, and then more cold air.
It's going to get cold again.
Our friend Mary Laurent's here from SLEMCO. Good morning.
Good morning.
So,
How are ya?
Good.
just in the same way that when we have a stretch of 100-degree temperatures, and you constantly run your air conditioning because it's hot outside, you have a similar situation where you have to constantly run your heater, like this last cold snap we had, where it stayed below freezing for a few days.
And it was so cold.
And it was cold. So, from SLEMCO's side of things,
25 years since I remember running my heater.
That long.
For the SLEMCO side of things, that puts a big strain you guys prepare for, but when everyone's running everything at the same time, how do you prep for that?
Well, from us on a power supply standpoint, it's nothing that we have to prep for, but individuals do need to prep for that. And what's different, we do have a lot of hot temperatures here, and so we think that just because we are used to the hot and our bills are going to be, high because of the heat, it's really actually very different for the cold weather because there's a bigger temperature difference that those cooling and heating systems have to take over and control. So in the summertime, if it's 95 outside and you're being really good and you're setting your air conditioner to 78, or even if it's 98 outside, you're only trying to make up for a 20-degree temperature difference.
Yep.
But if it's in the teens and the 20s and you're trying to keep your unit even at 60, if you are willing to, and we don't advocate 60 but because that's really cold, but that's where I left mine, you have like a 40-degree temperature difference to make up. And so those units are going to run a lot longer. Even if you set your heater where we recommend to 68, your units are going to run. Those 3 or 4 days where we were down in the 20s, they ran almost 24/7. Unless your breaker was off, it was not off. It was running. And if you were home and, you had a lot of kids home, the schools were closed, the roads were iced, they couldn't go anywhere. And some people have, told us that their units, they know, ran 24/7 because even though they had it at 60 degrees or 65 or wherever, they were running nonstop.
So, obviously, when your units are running nonstop and they're electric, you're going to have an uptick in your power bill.
Yes.
Just because your usage is up
Correct.
that amount. There's no willy-nilly going on with your bill at SLEMCO just because it's cold. It's usage.
It is usage, but we do understand. Listen, the employees there, our bills went up too.
Yeah.
And so we completely understand. And like I said, when I walked out the door each morning, I put that unit to 60 degrees. And when I got home, it was cold. And when I went to bed at night, it was at 63. It wasn't at 68, but I put extra blankets. But that's a choice. So what we try to teach people, and this is old school, but we're so used to the gadgets and the gizmos and the devices and the phones and the iPads, but old school sometimes really works best. And the biggest thing that a family can do or a business can do if they want to control their electricity usage is they get a little notebook or a little notepad or a sheet of paper, and once a day, at the same time every day, they go and get a meter reading, and then they subtract one day from the next. And in fact, we're going to have some cold temperatures today. I would suggest if people really want to get control of what they're using, start today and see like from now until next week at this time. Just do it for a week and see what your family and your home uses just in that 1 week. And then if we have a drop in temperature after that, continue reading it to see actually what your heating system, and then we have all these water heaters in the attic. Those water heaters had to run more because they were cold in the attic. And some people have blankets on their water heaters, but some people don't. So that ran a lot too. So between your heating system and your water heater, that's 70% of your bill.
And how different is it? Obviously, the area that SLEMCO covers, you do have a lot of rural area in there too, where you have the off-the-ground houses.
Correct.
So you have the cold there, not just on the outer walls and the roof.
It's
you have
coming
it
up
from
underneath
under as well.
It's coming up underneath. That's correct.
Well, and for the first time, there are people that are this is the coldest snap that, like I said, I remember in 25 years. So you have a whole new generation of people who are paying bills. We haven't had this extended period of cold, really.
Correct.
For that amount of time.
Correct.
And so, people are like, man. You don't think about how much usage was really going on. But like you said, 24/7, when we had those 20-degree temperatures at night, those little suckers were working overtime.
You know, I remember years ago back in the 80s, it got down to 7 degrees, 9 degrees, and it was like, oh no, you know, and that was my first experience with being a grown-up and adulting and paying my own utility bill.
Yeah, right.
And it was like, holy cow, you know. So when it happened again in the 90s, I kind of knew. And so I knew, like my mother used to say, turn down that heater, or turn off the air conditioner, or shut the door, you know, you're letting the heat out, you're letting the cold out. So I remember that. But we really have a whole new generation now that's paying their bills on their own now for the first time since we have had such an extreme, you know, weather drop or temperature drop. And we had one a couple of years ago where all of the bridges in Lafayette froze, except for the one on Pinhook. That was how I got home, and it took me 3 hours to get home, but that's okay. But it didn't stay down.
That's right.
For days. It was overnight. And so then it got better. You went back to work and everything was fine. So that's a horse of a different color.
Right.
When it stays down this long and it's that cold, those units have to run.
Yeah. It's just the simple math of it. So thank you for some tips, though.
No problem. Read that meter.
Yep. Got to read that meter.
Here from SLEMCO.
And get your snuggle bunny.
Yeah. I mean, that's God's ear.
That's right.
And bake cookies. Bake cookies.
Oh, that's a good idea.
All right, Mary, thanks for coming by.
You're so welcome.
Appreciate it.